Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudire Naishtapraishu Bhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttam Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtiki. Continuing with the discussion on Bhagavad Gita, chapter 6, entitled Dhyana Yoga, text number 36 onwards. Asayatatmana yogo dushprapmati iti me matihi vashyatmana tu yatta shakyo avaptum upayataha. For one whose mind is unbridled, self-realization is difficult work. But he whose mind is controlled and who strives by appropriate means is assured of success. That is my opinion. So Krishna, although he says that is my opinion, I heard of one conversation somebody was having with Srila Prabhupada, and he mentioned that it's here, many other places in Bhagavad Gita, Krishna said, this is my opinion. So that person told Prabhupada, Prabhupada, Krishna is saying this is his opinion. So we don't really have to obey by it. We don't have to obey it. It's his opinion. It's not a fact. So Prabhupada told him very nicely, if a Supreme Court justice in the court, he says, this is my opinion, whatever he's saying, do you have an option of not obeying it? His opinion means it's the final word. It's not like we have an option. Oh, this is his opinion only. It's not the word of the scriptures. Whatever Krishna says, whether he says this is my opinion or whether he says this is for sure you have to follow, we have to follow. These are the scriptures. So generally opinion, when somebody says this is my opinion and your opinion could be different, so you choose whatever you want to follow. But when Krishna says it's his opinion, means it is a final word. So here he says, one who, again he comes back to the same thing, mind, control of mind, control of mind. In the beginning also he says, one whose mind is controlled, it's the best of the friends, and whose mind is not controlled, then it's the worst of the enemies. So here again, one whose mind is unbridled means it's not in control. Self-realization is difficult work. It's impossible actually to be self-realized if the mind is not in control. The Supreme Personality of Godhead declares that one who does not accept the proper treatment to detach the mind from material engagement can hardly achieve success in self-realization. Trying to practice yoga while engaging the mind in material enjoyment is like trying to ignite a fire while pouring water on it. Yoga practice without mental control is a waste of time. Such a show of a yoga may be materially lucrative, but it is useless as far as the spiritual realization is concerned. So, what is this mind control, Prabhupada? Or Krishna is talking about, and Prabhupada is writing in the purport. What is the control of mind? Control of the mind means not letting the mind go for material sense gratification. That's all. And how to do that? That Krishna says in second chapter, give it a higher taste. So when we give the mind and the other senses higher taste of spiritual taste, or taste of Krishna's bhakti, Krishna's service, then automatically it will not go towards lower taste. Okay, this higher taste, mind will not just pick it up, even if we give it, even if it is the best thing to do. It takes long time for the mind to really taste the higher taste. Because for millions of lifetimes, it's the same mind, the same subtle body goes with the soul. Mind is so much used to the lower taste, or, well, it is lower taste from Bhagavad Gita point of view or spiritual realization point of view, but it is very tasty, nicely tasty for the mind for millions of lifetimes. This taste of sense enjoyment, taste of trying to gratify the material senses. It's very tasty. So, mind naturally, well, it's not actually natural, but because it has become a nature for so many lifetimes, so that's why it becomes natural. Although for soul, it's not natural. So, so mind will automatically, on its own, go towards that, even if we give it a higher taste. It's it's a programming is like that. So now we are trying to reprogram the mind by giving some better engagement. So overnight, it's not going to happen that we're going to lose the taste, lose the inclination to enjoy material things, and just come to spiritual life altogether. It is not going to happen. So all we have to do is first of all not feel so bad about it that we give up spiritual life altogether, not feel so guilty about it, not feel that I'm worthless and this and that. No. In fact, um, the guilty part, there should be guilt, not feel guilty about it. Guilt should be there. Yes, I mean, okay, I was given a test, I was given a chance, and I didn't take it up fully. Fine. There's some guilt inside that okay, I'll try to do better next time. That's fine. And the devotees are so compassionate, so helpful all the time. They really try to help each other because we all are in the same boat. So we are trying to help each other so we can make progress all together. So among devotees, the idea should be of the feeling should be of compassion, not to make others feel guilty. Oh, you did this, you're bad, you're going to hell, Krishna is never going to look at you, something. Actually, I've heard all these things. That's why I'm telling you. So, making somebody feel guilty is not the solution. The guilt should be inside us. Okay, even if something goes wrong in the life, so what? We really get up, dust it off, and keep going again. As simple as that. Let Krishna be the judge, not ourselves. We don't try to be the judges. So the mind. So even when we try to be somebody else's judge, again the mind is playing games. Mind is saying, "Oh, you are so much better than the other person, so you have a right to judge him or her, or to pass a statements on her or him." So that's again game of mind, nothing else. So that mind is somehow has to be controlled. So by giving it higher taste and at the same time cultivating those qualities of spiritually advanced people, Krishna has enlisted those qualities earlier, and later on in other chapters also he will give us those qualities. So we have to try to develop, if not fully, at least to some extent. So conscious effort has to be there that we have to try to develop those qualities. Although Chaitanya Mahaprabhu gave just four qualities, if we develop, that means we have developed all of them: humility, tolerance, not expecting respect for oneself, but still giving. giving respect to everybody else. And one who can do that, he can do Kirtanya Sadahari. He is the only one who can always chant the holy names of the Lord. So mind again is very, very difficult to be controlled. And one who controls the mind, he is the only one who can make progress in self-realization. Therefore, one must control the mind by engaging in constantly in the transcendental loving service of the Lord. Constantly engaging in the transcendental loving service of the Lord. Very important line. We think, oh, it's just a simple line. No. When we engage the mind in our service or our loving service, means the mind is not in control. Our loving service is what? Okay, so serving our senses, but the serving of senses is also gross senses and subtle senses as well. So as soon as we start thinking, I am better than others, I am following everything so nicely, I chant better than others. See, look at him, look at her, they are not chanting properly. I am more austere than others. I can do better tapasya. I can do more fasting than somebody else. Look at him. He is always eating. Even on Ekadashi, he is always eating. Look at me. I'm fasting. I'm so austere. Means I'm trying to feed the mind the food for um, prestige, power, position, prestige. Again, it's not conducive for self-realization. So mind has always to be engaged in the transcendental loving service of the Lord. Then and then only we can hope to make progress in self-realization. Unless one is engaged in Krishna consciousness, he cannot steadily control the mind. A Krishna conscious person easily achieves the result of yoga practice without separate endeavor. But a yoga practitioner cannot achieve success without becoming Krishna conscious. So Prabhupada just gives a simple line without becoming Krishna conscious. But what does it mean to be Krishna conscious? It's a big topic in itself. Krishna conscious means we soul understanding its constitutional position that I am servant of Krishna, always engaged in service of Krishna, and engaging everything in the service of Krishna, not in our own service. So again, serving both grossly and subtly, everything in the service of Krishna, engaging everything, the subtle mind also in the service of Krishna. Krishna also means Krishna, Krishna's paraphernalia, Krishna's incarnations, Krishna's devotees, Krishna's servants. So when you start looking at like that, then it becomes a whole new aspect, a whole new picture. Krishna doesn't mean only this Tribhang Murti Krishna standing in the temple. Krishna means Krishna's energies also, and the whole creation is his energy. So what we have to do, we have to serve him, serve his energy. All his Vibhinansha, all the jivas are his energy, and especially those jivas, especially those living entities who are serving Krishna nicely, means his devotees or who are trying to serve Krishna. So we have to serve them. We have to start serving them. And the other day, somebody had posted this quotation. No, service, what does it mean? Service. Service means to please somebody else by our action, by our words, to please him or her. Something that makes him happy, not something that makes me happy. Just like Prabhupada used to talk about one incident or allegory, he said. Like one grandfather, old man was there, and he had many grandkids. So they all wanted to serve grandfather. So they were massaging him. Three on one side and three on other side, other leg. So they were massaging nicely. Grandfather was enjoying the massage. Look at my grandkids, they're nicely doing the service. So one of the grandkids, he did, he was massaging, but he noticed other one on the other side, he wasn't doing it right. Or he, whatever he thought it was right. So this grandkid, A, so he tried to tell the other brother of his that you do it like this. And the other brother said, no, 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 I'm doing it right. And then he just took his fist and hit on the grandfather's leg. See, I'm doing it right. This is the way it is to be done. So the first one said, no, 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 it should be done this way. And he hit the grandfather's leg. And they both, and all six of them started hitting the grandfather's leg. No, this has to be done this way. And they didn't realize it was the grandfather who was being hurt and he was crying. What are you guys doing? You are hitting me. This is not service. But this is what we do. My way is the right way. But ultimately, who is suffering? Is that service? No. So again, service, Krishna conscious, controlling the mind, these are very big topics. We have to really pay attention to what we do. Yesterday we discussed about chanting and how to chant properly and this and that. But if I tell everybody, maybe when I come back, we do this art of chanting seminar, and then they, no, the way I do it's the best way. Everybody has to follow that. Otherwise, you all are nonsense, you rascals, and you don't stand anywhere. No, that won't be right. We discuss, okay, what's the best way to do, but then everybody has his own limitations or whatever. So that's okay. just like if we go try to learn yoga asanas from some yoga instructor. Now the instructor is has been doing yoga for a long time, so he can bend his body like anything. His body would be like a rubber band. He could bend, he could twist, he could turn any way he wants. And we try to bend down and our knees are not straight, and he yells, no, the knees should be kept straight and you should be touching your toes and stand like this. Okay, it's not practical, not possible for us right now. But that doesn't mean he's going to just say, get out of here. Okay, that's the best thing, whatever he's teaching, but we have our limitations. So we try to do the best we can and try to learn more. Then one day we can bend and twist our body just like he is doing. So similarly, other everybody has to understand others' limitations. So when we are judging somebody else from our perspective, it's not right. So it's not the service. It's not a proper service. So again, for us to do best services, we have to control our mind first. And that control of mind is some or other we engage it in service of Krishna. And Krishna means Krishna's devotees also, Krishna's energy also. So text 37. Arjun vacha ayati shraddheyopeto yoga chalit manasaha aprapya yog samsiddhim kam gatim Krishna gachati. Now just imagine Arjun and Krishna, they both are in the battlefield. Arjun in the beginning of second chapter, towards the end of first chapter, Arjun said, I cannot fight. My mind is so disturbed. I would rather go to the forest and live a life begging. And Afterwards, when Krishna started speaking, Arjun is coming back to his senses, and look at the questions he's asking. Arjun said, "O Krishna, what's the destination of the unsuccessful transcendentalist, who in the beginning takes to the process of self realization with faith, but who later desists due to worldly mindedness and thus does not attain perfection in mysticism?" Does that sound like a person who was so troubled and he is crying? And he said, his Gandhi, his bow was slipping from his hands, and just the whole, like we said, no, whole Bhagavad Gita lasted for 45, 48 minutes. And this is a sixth chapter, so maybe 10, 15 minutes later on, he's asking these questions, wonderful questions. Just in 10 minutes, he got changed. So obviously, he was never in illusion. It was all Krishna's Maya, Yog Maya, that is acting on him. And this, his real nature is coming out now. So he's asking, what's the destination of unsuccessful transcendentalist? Means one who takes up the process, but still his mind is not in control. So he doesn't follow or he cannot follow the whole process properly. Then what happens to him? The path of self-realization or mysticism is described in the Bhagavad Gita. The basic principle of self realization is knowledge that the living entity is not this material body, but that he is different from it and that his happiness is in eternal life, bliss, and knowledge. These are transcendental beyond both body and mind. Self realization is sought by the path of knowledge, by the practice of eightfold system of Bhakti Yoga. In each of these processes, one has to realize the constitutional position of the living entity, its his relationship with God, and the activities whereby he can re-establish the lost link and achieve the highest perfection stage of Krishna consciousness. Following any of the above mentioned these three methods, one is sure to reach the supreme goal sooner or later. So three methods are Jnana Yoga, Karma Yoga, and Bhakti Yoga. And Hatha Yoga is part of Karma Yoga. This was asserted by Lord in the second chapter. Even a little endeavor on the transcendental path offers a great hope for deliverance. So where Krishna says, Neha Bikram Nashosti Pratyavayuna Vidyate. Even a little endeavor, little progress on this path, on the path of yoga, it never goes away. It's a permanent achievement. Out of these three methods, the path of Bhakti Yoga is especially suitable for this age because it's the most direct method of God realization. To be doubly assured, Arjun is asking Lord Krishna to confirm his former statement. One may sincerely accept the path of self realization, but the process of cultivation of knowledge and the practice of the Eightfold Yoga system are generally very difficult for this age. Therefore, despite constant endeavor, one may fail for many reasons. First of all, one may not be sufficiently serious about following the process. To pursue the transcendental path is more or less to declare war on the illusory energy. To pursue the transcendental path of yoga, especially bhakti yoga, is more or less to declare war on the illusory energy or maya. So we are constantly at war against maya. Constantly. Is there any time maya does not attack a living entity? Even when we are sleeping, maya is attacking us, giving us more and more desires to, or more and more ideas to enjoy ourselves. Consequently, whenever a person tries to escape the clutches of Maya, she tries to defeat the practitioner by various allurements. More we try to escape, more she is going to deceive us. A conditioned soul is already allured by the modes of material energy, and there is every chance of being allured again, even while performing transcendental disciplines. This is called Yoga Chalitmanasa, deviation from the transcendental path. Arjun is inquisitive to know the results of deviation from the path of self realization. So, when, like Prabhupada said, to make advancement on this path means declaring war against Maya. So, suppose two armies are fighting. So, both have declared war on each other. So, suppose between Pakistan and India, war is going on. So, who do you think Pakistani army would like to kill first among Indian army soldiers and officers? That the Indian army will be defeated. Will say, okay, I we gave up. We have been defeated. We surrender. You think if Pakistani army goes after a little bitty soldier, Indian army would give up? Or if Pakistani army goes after big general or major or colonel, then the Indian army would give up. Then the Pakistan would win. Obviously, if they go after a big officer, right? So Maya also, what does she do? If some people are following this yoga practice, so and we are at constantly at war against Maya. So if Maya captures and defeats somebody who is really advanced, then the lower people will always surrender to Maya. So the Maya's tactics against the person who's more advanced are more serious, are more forceful, are more effective than her tactics against just devotees like us. We are all anyway surrendered to Maya anyway. So she doesn't have to do a whole lot of work on us. But those who are really advanced, and she really goes after them. Just like in case of Haridas Thakur, if you know of that story, when Haridas Thakur was in Fulyagram in a cave, he was chanting 192 rounds every day. Maya Devi herself took the form of a beautiful woman and she came to allure Haridas Thakur. Of course, she was unsuccessful, but we can't even imagine if Maya takes the form of a woman, beautiful woman, how beautiful that woman must be. If Maya herself takes that form. Because everybody is crazily running after Maya's little bit products of beauty. But if that energy itself takes a form of a beautiful woman, how beautiful that must be, how attractive that must be. But Haridas Thakur, because he was so much absorbed in serving Krishna, he just was not at all disturbed. In fact, he initiated Maya Devi into chanting of Hare Krishna Mahamantra because he himself gave her the chanting, and then he left that place. So this is what Maya does. She goes after people who are more advanced because then her work is done for at least for 90% of the population. So that doesn't mean we should get scared of making advancement. We should go for advancement, but we should be more careful. That's all. So just like Maya Devi went after Haridas Thakur, she also goes after everybody. But I mean, just imagine if Maya Devi comes to anyone of us with personification of a beautiful man or beautiful woman. It will not take her more than a second to deviate us from our path. It won't be more than a second. But it took for her to disturb Haridas Thakur for 3 nights, but she still could not disturb him. She sat there listening to his chanting. So that's how strong Haridas Thakur was. So that's why Maya doesn't even come and bother us, because she knows we are already surrendered. So she sends little bit agents of her. But we have to be careful. Allurement will always be there. She tries to defeat the practitioner by various allurements. But again, then the question is, she is Krishna's energy, she is Krishna's servant. Why does she do that? Because she wants to make sure that we are ready to go back home, back to Godhead. We are ready, or we are eligible, we are qualified, that we will not get attracted again by Maya or Maya's products. So she has to give us the tests. So testing will be there, definitely. And whatever our weak point is, that is where the testing will come. Somebody gets attracted by opposite sex. Somebody gets attracted by money. Somebody gets attracted by other things. That's where the test will come. So we have to be very careful. That's why the association of devotees is very important. It's always been stressed on by Prabhupada. Because when the devotees are there, they try to protect us. They try to help us. That is the quality of a devotee. Compassionate. Not not if we fall down and they'll start laughing at us. Ha ha ha. See, we knew that. He's just a bum, he's a pretender. No, that's not devotee. so so the onslaughts of Maya will always be there. But then at the same time we have to try to seek out proper sincere devotees, and we take the association, and then we can make progress. We start making progress more and more and more and more. But the test will always be there, always. In fact, it is said, somebody said in one of the lectures, that even when we are on the plane back to Vaikuntha, when we leave the body, Vishnu Dutas come and they bring the plane and they take the devotee back to the spiritual world. But while we are going back, they take the plane through all the heavenly planets, even the topmost Brahma Loka. Why? Just to test us, just to find us if we are interested in getting down at one of the lokas. They'll take us through heavenly planets, Satyalok, Tapalok, Maharlok, Janalok, Brahmalok, all these different lokas, where the more and more opulences are there. And then okay, you want to get down here just for a while, maybe take a detour, take a break here. But that again, the test is there. That if we are really ready to go back to the spiritual world, or we still want to get down somewhere else. So the test will always be there. We just have to be ready for that, prepared for that. That's all. Text 38. But this is not to scare anybody or all of us. No, no, no. This is just to make us aware of the test. Text 38. Kachinno bhaya विभ्रष्ट छिन्नाद भ्रमेव नश्यति अप्रतिष्ठो महाबाहो विमूढ़ो brahmanapati. O mighty armed Krishna, does not such a man who is bewildered from the path of transcendence fall away from both spiritual and material success and perish like a riven cloud with no position in any sphere? There are two ways to progress. Those who are materialists have no interest in transcendence. Therefore, they are more interested in material advancement by economic development or in promotion to the higher planets by appropriate work. When one takes to the path of transcendence, one has to cease all material activities and sacrifice all forms of so called material happiness. If the aspiring transcendentalist fails, then he apparently loses both ways. In other words, he can enjoy neither material happiness nor spiritual success. So, Arjun's question is, suppose we take up to the path of spirituality. So, so far, Prabhupada has been talking like material sense gratification and spiritual advancement, they go ill together. Means if you want to make progress in spirituality, we have to give up material sense gratification. Give it up, or automatically we lose the taste. But then Arjun is asking, if okay, we started on the path, we we gave up material sense gratification, and we didn't make proper progress, and we fell down. So what happens to that kind of a devotee? He didn't enjoy materially, and he didn't make progress spiritually either. So he's a it's a lose-lose situation for him. So Prabhupada is writing, he has no position. He's like a riven cloud. Riven cloud means a cloud in the sky sometimes deviates from a small cloud and joins a big one. But if it cannot join a big one, then it is blown away by the wind and becomes a non-entity in the vast sky. The Brahmana Pathi is a path of transcendental realization through knowing oneself to be spiritual in essence, part and parcel of the Supreme Lord, who is manifested as Brahman, Paramatma, and Bhagavan. Lord Shri Krishna is the fullest manifestation of the Supreme Absolute Truth, and therefore, one who is surrendered to the Supreme Person is a successful transcendentalist. To reach this goal of life through Brahman and Paramatma realization takes many, many births. Bahunam Janmanamante. Therefore, the supermost path of transcendental realization is Bhakti Yoga or Krishna consciousness. So Arjun's question is like this only. So material life we give up to try to make progress spiritually, but even if we don't make progress properly, because many reasons could be there. We have so many sanskaras from the previous lives, so so many desires, unfulfilled, hidden desires are there. And as Maya attacks us, she attacks the weakest part, weakest point in our consciousness. So we many times we can give up spiritual life, spiritual progress, and materially we didn't enjoy either. So what will happen? So basically, Arjun is asking for all of us. What happens to that person? Text 39. Etanme sanshayam Krishna chetum arhasya sheshatah tadanya sanshayasya chetana hi upapadyate. This is my doubt, O Krishna, and I ask you to dispel it completely. But for you, no one is to be found who can destroy this doubt. Krishna is a perfect knower of past, present, and future. In the beginning of Bhagavad Gita, the Lord said that all living entities existed individually in the past, they exist now in the present, and they continue to retain individual identity in the future, even after liberation from the material entanglement. So he has already cleared up the question of the future of the individual living entity. Now Arjun wants to know the future of the unsuccessful transcendentalist. No one is equal to or above Krishna, and certainly the so called great sages and philosophers who are all at the mercy of material nature cannot equal him. Therefore, the verdict of Krishna is a final and complete answer to all doubts because he knows past, present, and future perfectly. But no one knows him. Krishna and Krishna conscious devotees alone can know what is what. Devotees know because by the mercy of Krishna they know. Otherwise they don't know themselves. But Krishna gives them the answer, that's why they know. So Arjun is very curious to find out because he knows it's not like one lifetime we're gonna go from 0 to 100 or make just attain the full perfection. Not gonna happen. Just like in Nectar of Devotion, we were studying. Even when we take up the process of bhakti seriously, even then the processes of few lifetimes, if not many lifetimes. So, should I continue further or stop here and ask for questions or comments? There's still 15 minutes. Because now Krishna will start speaking and I wanted to.
We can continue for it.
The problem is there are only 7 verses left. And I cannot finish all the verses. And I don't want to take up only 2 verses next class. So there's a logical break because now Krishna is starting to speak. So let's see if somebody has questions or comments.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
Prabhuji, I have a question that when while walking on Parikrama Marg, can we do chanting? Apart from our rounds, daily rounds, can we do our chanting that time also?
Parikrama Marg, you mean Govardhan Parikrama?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Of course we should do chanting. Otherwise we will be talking. Otherwise we will be gossiping.
Okay. I was thinking that it is not counted. It is not counted as a round mind, but still we can do chanting, no?
Oh yeah. So that is different. When we're doing Govardhan Parikrama, then we are in Dham. We should be chanting.
Okay. Raji, we'll go now. Today we'll be going to Vrindavan.
Oh, okay. Wow. So please pay respects to Giriraj ji from on my behalf also.
Ji. Hare Krishna.
See, what we were discussing yesterday was like it's if we make it a habit of walking and chanting. That was different. But while doing parikrama, we should always be chanting.
Fine.
Because we are at
Thank you.
Giriraj. In fact, it is said when we are doing parikrama of Giri Govardhan, so Giriraj, he looks at us and he runs after us. He takes a form and he's behind us. And he's trying to hear what we are asking from Giriraj. So if you're chanting and if you're praying, Giriraj, please make me better devotee or whatever, make me progress, then he's very happy and he grants us that wish. But if he hears that we are talking some mundane talks and we are asking for some material things, then he gets disgusted and he goes back. He doesn't follow us anymore. I mean, this is some devotees have told me. I never read it in any scripture, any book, but the devotees have said.
Okay, I'll try to not let him go.
So, Giriraj is very merciful. So better, yes, one should chant more and more when he's there at Giriraj.
Ji. Till Kartik month, na?
Kartik is still far away.
Till Kartik month, we should chant, na?
Oh,
more
you
rounds.
can. Well, anytime you can chant more rounds.
Mm.
You're thinking of only in Chaturmasya?
Nah, this is Chaturmas, na?
Yeah, well, month of Kartik is more auspicious if you want to chant more rounds.
Okay.
Other than that, anytime you can chant more rounds, that's not a problem.
Hmm. Thank you, Prajit. Thank you so
Okay,
much.
okay, Hare Krishna. Any other question or comment?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare
I
Krishna.
have a question, Prabhuji. Prabhuji, like if we, in the past, maybe there has been an experience and we kind of don't tolerate some person and we started hating him or her. So now knowing that, in Krishna consciousness, we should see everything as an energy of Krishna and, see everything that, it's an expansion of Krishna only. But, still that feeling, it doesn't go away. Like, on the upper level, outside level, we are trying to say ourselves that this is an expansion, he is also a gv as a soul, and those kind of things. But then I mean, practically still that feeling is always there. So how to overcome those, Prabhuji?
Um, if you're angry at somebody and you hold a hot burning coal in your hand to throw at somebody, who is that coal gonna burn first?
Ask Prabhuji first. Myself, I would say.
Yeah. So if we are angry at somebody, or if we have some resentful feelings or any other negative feelings towards anybody, who is it hurting first? Ourselves. So even from that perspective, we should be forgiving others. That it is going to hurt me first before I even could do any harm to anybody else. It's going to hurt me first. So from that angle also, we should be forgiving others. It's very difficult. I'm not saying it's easy. These are theoretical points. Coming to practice is very difficult to put it in practice, but it is good for us because when we have this hatred or envy or resentment or other feelings for anybody else, it it pollutes our consciousness first, where we cannot even perform our services properly. And besides consciousness, it pollutes our mind, pollutes our body. I mean, as you know, I'm trying to learn pranic healing. So I found out one devotee, he had cancer. So other devotees asked me, "Oh, please find out if you have a cure." But it was very last stages of cancer that devotee had. So couldn't do anything except some healing just to make him feel better. That's about it. But in the book, it was written, what is the cause of cancer? It's not chemicals. It's not pollution there or here. Those could be a secondary cause. But what's a primary cause? It's a anger inside. It clearly states in the book. It's the anger. That anger, it makes dirty red prana inside the body, and wherever the weak part is, it goes there and it starts creating the cancerous cells, and develops more and more and more and more. So the anger is going to hurt us first, then it hurts somebody else. So why? Why go through all that trouble? In fact, most of our diseases that we have is because of these negative feelings inside us, emotional problems, negative feelings inside us. That creates disease in us. And then again, and then even if you go subtly, it pollutes the consciousness. So for us to live a healthy life, we have to forgive somebody else. So it's better. Is that okay?
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Of course, we love to be like love to be posed as a victim of he did that wrong to me, she did that wrong to me, I am a victim. Okay, even if we look at it from karma philosophy, we are not victims. We are just getting what we sent earlier. We're getting it back. Okay, when it comes back multiplied. That's a different story. But we are getting back whatever we sent earlier. So from karma philosophy also, we are not victims. And then it pollutes our consciousness, pollutes our body, pollutes our mind, intelligence. What's the point? So better forgive others. In fact, we go higher than that. Not only forgive others, we beg for forgiveness from them also. Because as soon as we must have done something against them, that's why they are behaving like that. So we beg for forgiveness also. And we clean our slate at least. We clean our mind, clean our consciousness. If the other person is still hell-bent on doing something nonsense or mischievous, that's his problem or her problem. At least we clean our mind. Because this body in this birth is very rare. Human life is very rare, and we have to use it in service of Krishna. We have to use it for self-realization, not for something else. So that's why again and again this word comes of service. Do the service. So we do service to others. And when we do service means we have to take a humble position. We have to think of the welfare of others. That's what service is. So even if the person who has hurt us, or who has said something nasty about us, or did all kinds of tricks against us, try to serve. At least if cannot serve, at least stay away or be neutral. It's better than saying anything against, or better than being neutral is to serve, and better than service is do something for his welfare. It depends wherever we are, whatever our stage is, at least remain neutral because it's good for us, good for our body, good for our consciousness. Is it okay?
Yes, Prabhuji, thank you.
Thank you, Bhanta. Subhu Prabhu, you joined a little late.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
Yes, I joined. I'd gone out. I came back only 10-15 minutes ago.
Oh, okay. Welcome back.
Thank you.
Any other question or comment? Subhu Prabhu, please enlighten us a little bit more on this chapter 6 of Bhagavad Gita.
No, nothing that you had already not said.
Oh, no, I just keep on babbling this and that and whatever. So I guess then there's nothing else. We can stop here. You all have a wonderful Sunday. Enjoy your Sunday.
Hare Krishna.
And
You too, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
see you on Monday. Hare Krishna.
Hare
Jai Srila
Krishna.
Prabhupada.
Thank you so much.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare
Bye.